Welcome back, friends, to the Food Freedom Podcast. I am Coach Mary, food addiction recovery coach, and today we are talking about something that might feel a little bit heavy, but it's important. And so I'm titling today's episode, 5 Eye-Opening Statistics About Eating Disorders. So now, before you tune out, oh, great numbers, stay with me, because they're not just statistics, okay? These are daughters. These are sons, co-workers, friends, women sitting in your pew at church. These are men silently struggling in the gym locker room. And a lot of these numbers are you. So let's talk about it. Number one, nearly 30 million people in the U.S. will experience an eating disorder in their lifetime. 30 million. And this includes anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, compulsive eating, and other forms of disordered eating. So let that sink in. That means that eating disorders are not rare. They are not fringe. They are not just a few extreme cases. They are everywhere. And here's what makes this even more concerning is that they often remain hidden and not discussed. It's not talked about. And that's because eating disorders are generally quiet. They can look a lot like discipline, clean eating, just trying to be healthy. They can look like, I don't eat carbs. Sometimes they even get praised. Okay. So when we talk about 30 million people, understand this, that number likely underestimates the real problem. Number two is 95% of individuals with eating disorders start developing them between the ages of 12 and 25. 12 to 25, that's middle school, high school, college, young adulthood. These are formative years. These are the years when the brain is still developing, when our identity is forming, and when our self-worth can be fragile. And yet this is when the seeds of food obsession, body shame, and the chronic dieting cycle often take root. Now, does that mean older women don't struggle? Absolutely not. I work with women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who have been battling this since they were teenagers, like me, even before we were teenagers. But that's the point. For many of us, it starts very young, and early intervention matters. So if we ignore it or normalize it, we're allowing something dangerous to entrench itself for decades, okay? Number three, 1 in 3 individuals struggling with an eating disorder are male. 1 in 3. We have to stop pretending this is just a women's issue. Now, I work primarily with women. My tribe is for women only. I have worked with a couple dozen men over the last decade because, they're struggling too. They just tend to struggle more in silence than women do. There's a stigma, there's shame, there's this cultural narrative that, men are supposed to be strong and controlled and tough, right? So when a man is binging in secret or compulsively over exercising or, obsessing over leanness and muscle definition, he's less likely to say anything, right? And that silence delays people getting help. So if you're listening and you're a man or you love a son, husband, or brother who is struggling, this matters. Eating disorders do not care if we are a man or a woman. Number 4, only 1 in 10 people who experience an eating disorder receive the treatment they need. This one hits me hard. 1 in 10. That means 9 out of 10 people are trying to white knuckle it, trying to fix it with another diet, trying to handle it alone, trying to pretend that it's not that serious, it's not that big a deal. Why? Because of stigma, money, access to quality care, quality programs, misdiagnosis, being told that their problem is they just need to eat less, move more, and sometimes because they don't even realize what they're dealing with has a name. We've talked about that here so often. So many people don't realize that their struggle with weight loss and weight gain is actually because they have an eating disorder of some type. So they just keep cycling, dieting, binging, shame, start over, dieting, binging, shame, start over and over and over. So if you've been trying to do this alone, I want you to hear me out. Isolation fuels your disordered eating. Community is going to disrupt that. Number 5, eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. Yes, mental illness. When we eating disorders it is a mental health issue. Let's not soften it. Okay, they are deadly, and it's not just because of malnutrition or it's there's lots of health issues that disordered eating leads to. So it used to be like, people were really only concerned about the things that happen to anorexia, like the terrible health problems that happen to anorexia, people with anorexia and bulimia. But there's, we're missing a huge portion of the people with disordered eating are not anorexic or bulimic. Those are more rare. Bulimia is not nearly as rare as anorexia. But there's health problems that come with all of them. Okay. They eating disorders attack both the body and the brain, and, brain chemistry changes happen. Our metabolic health, is disrupted. Also, there's depression and anxiety. Those things, both of those intensify, when we are stuck in disordered eating. And we have to remember we cannot starve or binge our way to health, physical health or mental health. And yet so many people still think it's just about the food, it's just about the weight, when it's really about coping, control, trauma, survival, and it's costing us a lot. It's costing our health, in some cases, relationships. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I'm not really that bad off, I just need to lose weight, I want you to pause. You do not have to hit rock bottom to qualify for getting help, okay? You don't have to be underweight to need help. You don't have to be overweight to need help. You don't have to have ever been hospitalized for anything. You don't even have to be diagnosed, because don't even get me started. Our healthcare system is like dog-ish, okay? And so there's a lot of people walking around undiagnosed with stuff because, they're just not looking for the right things, right? You don't have to be on your last straw to get help. You don't have to have been diagnosed. You just have to be dissatisfied with how you feel and how you look, and how food controls your thoughts, and how food controls your mood, and how obsessed you are with the scale, right? If you feel out of control around certain foods, if you're constantly starting over on Monday, that's enough for you to take it seriously, okay? And I'm not sharing these statistics to fearmonger or scare. They're meant to wake us up, because eating disorders thrive when we minimize them and when we try to hide them and keep them secret, and they shrink when we shine the light on them. Okay, so let's close this out. 30 million people, 95% of it starts when we're young. 1 in 3 males are affected. Only 1 in 10 are getting the help that they need. And eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. This is not a small problem. If you are struggling, you are dealing with something real, and real problems deserve real support. You don't have to do this alone. Thanks for listening today, and I'll see you in the next episode.